All right. Give me one moment. Cool. All right. Nate, would you like to read or share with us all of the what went wells?
Yeah, sure. So we got great progress preparing for Commons upgrade parameters. Comms is hitting their stride with multiple initiatives. A lot more action on the forum this sprint, most ever. The weekly working group update for the forum was really well done by Katie. Education within the community is improving. Praise analysis. Hatch outreach campaign. Swiss activations. DAP is working very well. Communication feels very decentralized on the community. The community support towards initiatives. Great conversations around impact hour praise analysis. Got to say, Nate getting the spotlight on Lock every week has been such a relief. The passing of I keep getting these. The passing of data analysis to SoftGov, Octopus, YGG, Mohammed, tremendous work. A lot of diversity and contribution from the TE ecosystem. So much help around the praise analysis and decision-making strategy. Really amazing to see the swarms can create so quickly. ECC so close, can't wait. More volume of TE on our Discord. Angela will be spearheaded 2 channels, Ethic Hub and TE Academy. There's a lot of happening on TE services too. There's so much maturity for the hatch. Everyone's work is deep and grounded. Wonka on vacation. Some patterns are emerging and is becoming easier to identify problems. First for finding solutions. Ivy is a rock star. Really cool TEs are getting closer to our community. Comms contributors are getting more involved. Respect for different points of view. Livia rocking SoftGov, +1. TE swag is ready. Giveth retreat when TEC. Lots of progress with gravity and many silent conversations happening to promote harmony. Really beautiful work. We can really count on each other. People are really fast at responding calls to action. I got recharged batteries and learn from one another in culture. D-Dan and Durgados taking the lead for 2 gravity calls. Quick turnaround on impact hour intervention. Praise emergency. Continuity around good practices. Hatch readiness checklist. We're close. Commons dashboard moving so fast. And great contributions to the forum via params.
Cool, awesome. We're going to do a very quick 1 minute each to share what your thoughts are around how you feel about the things that we did well this sprint. And I'll have Olivia kick us off. And timer is set for 1 minute.
Thank you. Yeah, I think there was a lot of like very important conversations that happened like one-on-one and then with small groups and then with bigger groups, and it feels like this harmony work is really like ingrained in our culture, and I appreciate this so much. It feels like so many speeches are also evolving and more perspectives are coming into place. It's becoming like it's becoming easier to have divergence in the group and to talk to each other respectfully. So I think that's my highest point for the week. And I pass to Griff.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement happening. Really proud of the Commons dashboard team. Mitch is killing it. Nate is killing it on organizing the forum posts. Sem just like coded up so much work for conviction voting and all this. It's like the organization is moving exactly as I planned, and it's working. So it's really nice. Also, the praise emergency, like everyone stepped up to like support. Vivavi got sick and powered through it anyway. Yeah, just I've been kind of like aloof. So it was just really nice to see a lot of help come in, and all I have to do is be like, hey, problems, and then solutions just happen, and really love the impact hour intervention, progress, and movement there too. Feels like we have a path. I'll pass it to Wonka.
Well, I think that this sprint, what has been like most remarkable for me, is to get to know more about the Inca culture, because we always think that to improve and to learn we have to think like ahead on time, but it's amazing to see how was a culture which so many time ago was so advanced in their conception of the world, in the way they organized themselves and the cities. So, like, this is for me, not only for this sprint, but for my life, to always revalue and look within, instead of always looking outside for answers. Because yeah, we always tend to think that the past was not so advanced in some things, but we have a lot to learn from those old cultures. And I will pass it to
Who did you pass to?
Septimus.
Oh, thank you, Juan. Yeah, I feel like the price emergency, like we got our boat like dropped for like a week or two, and it seems like everything is solved. So yeah, it's going awesome. Like bye bye B, Griff, and Rodolph. Yeah, amazing work, and yeah, and I mean I'm very excited about seeing all of you on SCC, and yeah, also it's super cool to see you, Juan. Traveling and being here. So yeah, awesome. Thank you, guy, Juan, and I'll pass it to Nate.
Yeah, everything's been really awesome. I think it's the first time in the community, the first sprint where I really haven't been able to keep up with everything that's going on. Like I try to keep up with with things that are going on in different working groups all the time. It's the first time where I'm like, there's so many things going on, so many different initiatives, whether it be the formation of new working groups and TE labs, or just everything that's going on in gravity, transparency, and comms is pretty amazing. And so I think for this sprint, we've done a really good job of just seeing the autonomy and the independence that we have in the different working groups, and how they're really kind of thriving and kind of being independent and making decisions on their own, which is really impressive. So it's really great to see. I'll pass it to Chewy.
Can you hear me, guys? Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Yes, this week has been really, really exhausting, but overall, the sprint, today, I feel so good and very proud of the community and like all of the achievements, because when it comes to this sprint retrospective, the balance is just something very uplifting and very inspiring as well. It's just like so good, and makes me really happy to like look back like 4 or 5 sprints, and like there was like still like a lot of stuff around, and then like we've gone through like some stages that even where we've even like doubted, right, or where we have like some maybe like insecurities, but how we have come up with solutions and everything. Yeah, it just makes me really proud and happy. I'll pass it to Musashi.
Hey, Misashi, are you able to get your audio working today? I see you've unmuted, but I can't hear you. I hear white noise, but not a voice.
Okay, hold on.
We hear you
Oh,
now.
we can hear you now.
Okay. I just hopped on my mobile.
Cool. So this is our sprint retrospective where normally the stewards would sort of go around and, as you're seeing, sort of say what went well and what could be done better and actions. And if you'd like to share what you think about or how you feel about what we just talked about, what went well, certainly you can have a few seconds or a minute to do that.
So it's a weird day for me. I'll tell you one thing, and this is this should be a little bit of feedback for what you're doing. I honestly hopped in your live stream today, not only to kind of just, poke in and listen, but because you have positive vibes and I needed that today.
Cool. Yeah, that's really cool to hear.
Yeah, so thanks for that.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I think you just made a few of our days.
Trying to help make
All right. Cool. And maybe we pass to Craig now?
Yeah.
Craig, I see that your mute is off, but can't hear you. Okay, maybe we can come back when it works, if it works, but Eduardo, you wanna go next?
Sure. I will keep it simple. For me, it's just that I feel that, like Griff mentioned, things are coming out cohesive, and we are evolving as a community. And it feels like that. When I wrote down the centralized communication, it's about that. Like I feel we are able to sort of act and trust each other in a very cohesive way. And for me, that's amazing that it gets reflected in the work. Back to you, Tom.
Cool, and Craig, you wanna try again?
Trying.
Yes.
Yeah, I super distracted. I apologize, and so I'll just I like what Nate said. Yeah, sorry. Thank you. I don't know who's going or who's left.
Cool, then it's just me that's left. Yeah, I feel super optimistic about everything that we're doing and how we're doing it. And I think maybe there's some, to what Griff said, it feels like we have more concreteness now. And I feel like that changed the sprint and that felt really good too. But I think that's, yeah, and the forum, man, wow. We wanted to have more activity on the forum where there's so much more now. I don't know that we've ever had this much action on the forum. So it's really nice to see actually, and really nice to read. So maybe that can also help with the, having so much going on in the TEC that it's impossible to know what's going on in all the corners at the same time. Having this one place where we're now like really concentrating a lot of our communications. Awesome. So what could we do better? There's always things that we can do better. So I'll set a timer for 5 minutes and it starts now. It could be you personally, us as an organization, a working group, anything that comes to mind.
I gotta run to a meeting, but thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Thanks,
Bye,
Musashi.
Musashi.
Sashi.
All right, cool. So, Septimus, would you like to read what we could do better?
Yeah. Let me. Oh, I'm moving the screen. Let me put on top. Okay. We could be less optimistic when planning the timeline for our voting schedule. Clarity on how to decide and what needs to be voted on. The balance between when to employ advice process and when to put something to the community vote. Comms could be more proactive to communicate important calls to action. I know there is so much happening there and it's hard to keep up with everything. Implementation on communication. CD process for comms request.
Content.
Oh, thank you, Tam.
Yeah.
I really needed that. Content distribution process for the comms request. TS Scouts could get better short-term goals planning. Move late to organize HCC. Next time we should plan further in advance. Stewards Gravity session to output stress. Still not a cold space for just hanging out. Comms can improve organization further. Share ideas about HCC plans on the ground if when we will have TC focus sessions after the comms to help with people's travel arrangements. Better external communications about the commons upgrade. I haven't been able to prioritize Gitbook and I think it's a priority. Proposals still need some attention. How can we better support the TC Scouts? Internal communication and organization. We are delaying the hatch. Let's get this baby hatched. And applying even more non-violent communication and doing the TC contributor self-review form.
All right, cool. Let's see, 1 minute again, or less, if you can. And I'll ask Juan Carlos to get us started. I just want to say, in the meantime, please use your 2 votes to select which of these what things we can do better you think is a priority. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I think that I have been procrastinating on the TC self contributor self review form, like Heather, like send it to me, and I haven't done it. So I think punctually for me, and I don't know if that's an issue also for you guys. Also, I think that NBC is super important, and that we are learning even more how to practice it. So it's always good to have that in mind. And I have one question around the Stewart's gravity session to output stress that calls my attention, but I don't understand. So I would gladly help if someone gives me more clarity on that.
Yeah, does whoever raised that want to share what they meant? Is gravity, Steward's gravity session to output stress.
Well, I think that
Does,
it's like
whoever that want to share what that was?
I think that maybe in my understanding, it's like a steward session, but not to talk about work or planning or reviewing, but like to have like a safe space to communicate other type of things that we can feel or see around. So if that's it, I would gladly try to schedule one session to do that.
Okay, well, let's say that for the actions section, and maybe when we pass to the person who wrote it, if they want to, they can explain it more as well. Shall we pass to Chewy?
Yes. I'm sorry, Tam. What is the question?
No,
I'm sorry. I'm
just
multitasking a lot.
if you want to reflect, that's good. If you want to reflect on the things that we can do better, anything specifically or just overall?
Yeah, but just internal communication, but also I feel that it's a time to put attention in like also like emotional processes and communication. So I actually suggested the like the stewards gravity because I think that we could do better in that sometimes, especially approaching the hatch. So yeah, I would focus around just like more efficient and constructive communication in the community. I pass it to Griff.
Yeah, my big thing here is the hatch delay. I think that was there. Really need to get this baby out. So that's a big one. I also think I like the comment on being late to organize SCC and not being on top of it. I think that would have been useful, and like maybe trying to think about TEC events a little bit further in advance will be helpful. But honestly, I think we're doing really well this sprint. I didn't have that much that I could be like, oh man, yeah, this I learned this. Because the only big thing is just pushing out the hatch for me. And I'll pass it to Eduardo.
Thank you, Griff. On this, I share Shui's feelings on the Stewart's gravity session to output stress. It's I added the still not the call. Oops. I added
No, that
still.
wasn't for you.
It's okay. I added the still not a call / space for just hanging out. It's the same kind of thing, and I think we should have this space before the hatch ready. And I think that on that side, and then on the proposal side, I agree also that we are letting that sleep a little bit, and yeah, so that's just feedback on that. Back to you. I will pass it on to Nate.
Hey, Nate.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Ada. Sorry, I didn't know it was passed to me. Yeah. So I think the sprint did really well. I wasn't too, I didn't see many problems. The one could do better posted that I thought was really something that I would like to see is to how to decide on what needs to be voted on, kind of providing a framework for what kind of decisions need to have votes, what do not, and how to go through the advice process from an individual. I think that members have a good idea of the concept of the advice process and how it works. However, they probably do not know how to engage with the advice process or the next steps to take once they do identify a problem that they need advice with. And so I think having better clarity around that, it would help improve decision making within the working groups themselves. So that's a huge priority for me, and I think we should put a lot of focus on. So I'll pass it to Craig.
Hey, Craig.
Pass.
Okay. Livia, would you like to go?
Yeah, I hear you, Nate. I resonate with that, and I think it's still a space that it's kind of uncertain. That's why it feels uncertain. I think it's very like a collective investigation, and maybe we can host more discussions about that for when to identify the necessity of what type of decision making. And I think advice process has been happening way more than before in the chats. In the forum, especially when people tag others and ask opinion. It's basically asking opinion, and then sharing that a little bit of that process. But we can talk more about that. And I also wanted to point. I feel like comms could be a little bit more proactive on like, oh, there is this vote going on. Like, how can we communicate about this? What do we need? Who do we need to reach out? So I'm also, happy to collaborate on that. And I'll pass to Juanca.
I think it's just that.
Yeah, I think I went to.
Thank you, Tam and Libby. Yeah, I think I resonate with what Libby was saying, and I also am welcome to support on like when these decisions are happening, maybe more tweets or I don't know, more communication. And I also think like we really need to hatch. Like, come on, it should be launched on December. Back to Tam.
Oh, thanks. The decision space is the one that I added, sort of like what we vote on and when we vote on, and when we can employ advice process over community votes, because I think it's something that is unfamiliar to a lot of people. Using advice process and when to use it, and I think that maybe making it somehow more prominent in our culture. I know we're doing a good job so far. But maybe even as part of the orientation, like having advice process be the thing that's like really passed on as soon as you join our community. Advice process is how we get a lot of decisions made. I think, I just wonder how we can help that move forward. And then I'm also feeling a little like, communications, internal communications, external communications. I just think there's a lot there's just a mountain of communications to do, but and all of the communications that are coming out are very good. But I think that, I don't know, maybe we need more points of contact in communications to sort of tackle on different things. And I know that Chewy is working on doing that, so I expect it's going to improve. All right, so it looks like We Are Delaying the Hatch is the big 3-star winner today. Maybe if whoever had Let's Get This Hatched Baby Hatched and would have put it here would have been the 4-star winner. But I think the sentiment is, oopsie, there is, Let's Get the TEC Hatched. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm trying to circle it and it's not working. Okay, while I try to do that, let's move on to actions to improve. I mean, I guess for the Let's Get Things Hatched, I do maybe want to make a comment. I don't know that we're delaying the hatch, but we are trying to make sure that every working group is ready for the hatch when we decide that we have all 11 working groups giving the green light. But I think that we're all ready to hatch as well. And we will when we're ready. Actions to improve. If we want to spend maybe 5 minutes here too, who can either tackle the Let's Get This Baby Hatched or any of the other actions that we could do better? And the timer starts now. Cool. Hey, Griff, you feel like doing the honors? If you
My pleasure.
can.
Let me. Oh, hold on. Cool. Man, for some reason I lost the tab. Oh, calendar. Sorry. Started looking at my calendar trying to figure out what's next. Develop a framework for identifying what decisions need to vote and what decisions do not require community perspectives. Getting super involved in the impact analysis and the impact hour analysis and votes. Attempt to assign at least one subject matter expert to each working group. Submit IH proposals so we can hatch ASAP. Use TE Scouts as a method for TEC promotion and growth. Bring support to comms. Rely on each other when overbooked, overworked. Make the community feel safer about joining FCC plans. Help to create a strategy for communicating action items, maybe a template. Hatch tomorrow. The default should be clear that decisions happen in working groups and there should only be a vote if it's called on from other working groups. Look at comms, divisions and division leads. I don't know what that means. Look at comms, divisions, and division leads. Okay. Have time to discuss decision making and draft action items from there. Last check on what comms we need to hatch. Promote advice process and explain it in every weekly call. Okay. Clear list of GitHub issues that are blocking the hatch. Add guidelines and examples for decision-making space into Gitbook. Making a Gravity Hangout call icebreakers were proposed but never done. Promote posting proposals and voting. Trying to prioritize the hatch, no more opening Pandora's boxes. Making debates for the IH proposals. Letter for HCC for countries that are blacklisted. Did I say clear? Did I say clear list of GitHub issues that are blocking the hatch? Did I miss that one? Yeah. Oh well.
I think you said it. It's a good one, actually. Cool. Who wrote Pandora's Box? Griff, was that you?
No, but I completely agree.
All right, funny. All right, cool. Excellent. Well, maybe we take a few minutes. We have only 4 minutes left. So we'll do a grouping and a voting. And maybe I'll lock that down. Okay. There is proposals. 1 SME to each working group. That was a super interesting idea, although making that that could be an aspirational goal for sure. Decisions. What I meant by comms divisions and divisions leads, sorry, that was mine. If it wasn't clear, it was essentially, I see comms as like 5 different separate divisions. There's so much that they do. There's, branding and PR, there's infrastructure, comms infrastructure, there's, long form articles, there's memes and short form Twitter and all of this stuff, social media management. There's so much that in my mind, I could actually see it as like 4 or 5 different divisions. Advice process, GitHub issues, try and prioritize for the hatch. Hatch tomorrow. And then we have some more decision-making space here. Cool. What is this one? Help to create a strategy for communicating action items?
I put that one. I thought maybe it's not that easy to communicate everything that is happening in comms because we don't have a process for that. Maybe like every Friday, everything that needs the community participation has a tweet or like something that we could create a rhythm from. and easy for people to engage.
If you need, Libby, and in the content and distribution repo, you can submit like a request and fill in the template, and we can come up with like the content that needs to be generated around it. But in case it's something like tweets or something like this, like something simpler, uh, you could also like go ahead and suggest a tweet and leave it as a like to be drafted option. Like it doesn't even need to be like in its like full final form. You could just like write the intention there, and we hack different times a week in the Twitter in the Twitter spreadsheet, so we can take a look at like any needs that might come up with like the vote and all of this. But yeah, we can maybe talk about this after this call.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Cool. So it looks like we have a clear winner here as well, a list of GitHub issues. So let's say that sounds great, and every working group can use that Hatch ready list checklist to add their specific GitHub issues for their ready list checklist. And when each working group no longer has a critical to hatch, maybe we'll reintroduce the critical to hatch tag. And when each working group no longer has a critical to hatch label, issues, then we'll know that all of the critical issues to hatch have been resolved. So cool. I'll send, I guess, communication on our stewards channel about this, and we are at the top of the hour. But maybe before we go, it's also worth mentioning that there's some number of stars for submitting IH proposals and debating IH proposals and promoting advice process in our weekly calls, just to sort of get the community acclimated with it. And TE Scouts. Cool. All right, that's our sprint retrospective. Thanks, everyone.